over there weighing 4 golden lattes and 3 Instagrams and hailing from the fun parts of Rockport, the Prince of Podcasting and the hero of humility, Adam Long Heisen.
That's me. And coming from a okay part of Rockport, weighing at Untitled DC Universe, we got the Sultan of Snark, Michael P. Mordanga.
Yes. This is scheduled for a 1 hour, no holds barred, dreams and feelings match.
That's what I'm saying. In case you didn't get our names, that's Adam.
And Mike.
And we're hanging out today.
Yes, welcome to episode 14.
Yeah, buddy. Of the new era.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
The only podcast divisible by 7.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be multiple podcasts that are divisible by 7.
If we get that far.
Well, I mean, 7 is divisible by 7.
Oh, sorry. Citation needed.
Citation needed.
Mm-hmm. So, what is on the news today?
That's a good question. So am I going first then, Mike? Michael P. Mordanga?
I guess we should tell them we're alone now.
We
Girls do not trust us.
No, then they never did and they never will.
Yes, and we apologize.
Yeah, they don't want to hear that though.
Yeah. It's too late to apologize.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Speaking of music, Michael, I mentioned this earlier, but I went to go see perhaps the soundtrack to my late middle school through high school soundtrack. I went to go see Relient K and Switchfoot in concert in Pittsburgh. It was very cool, and the entire kind of atmosphere of the people that were there and like the bands that were playing threw me back to youth group.
Yes, I want to guess the playlist. Okay, so Relient K started off with Lion-O.
No.
Then they went into Maybe It's Maybelline.
No.
Then Switchfoot did Home and Could Have Been Her.
Not quite. But they did play Sadie Hawkins Dance.
Okay, good.
Which is pretty... And, I mean, they played, like, Jefferson Airplane and, like, Be My Escape and stuff like that.
Okay,
so.
yes.
And Switchfoot played an acoustic version of Hello Hurricane, which was pretty awesome.
That is nice.
Among other things. So
now, there's that song that they do together on one of the Relient K
Deathbed,
albums.
which they did. The last song, it's called This Is My Deathbed, and it was beautiful.
Yeah. I took my brother to see Relient K, and they ended with that song, Deathbed.
Yeah.
And he had to sing the John Foreman part.
Yeah.
And someone yelled out, John Foreman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so at the beginning of Sadie Hawkins Dance, the crowd just kept singing. So Matt, the lead singer for Relient K, was just like, and he just let us sing like the first part of that song. It was dope. It was such a great concert. But like I was saying, it reminded me of youth group. So Mike, did you grow up going to youth group?
Oh, my testimony and life and 80% of my biography is youth group.
Is youth group. Nice. Yeah, so for those that aren't in the know, youth group is Christianese for a once a week
safe place.
For, students probably from about maybe 5th grade through senior high. They would divvy them up by age group, but it was just like a youth meeting for at the church that you went to, and you guys they would go through topical issues. You guys would go on camping trips and missions trips, and it was a good time. However, looking back on that time, there's a lot of stuff that is kind of laughable.
Yes.
So that brings me to my question. What are your favorite youth group stereotypes?
Oh my gosh. That's my second book. The top 1,000 youth group stereotypes. So, I was so naive back then.
Yeah.
Because we had hot topics.
Okay.
Like, why God only loves the Republican Party and
Wait, they literally talked about that?
This is how it played out in my head.
Okay.
I'm sure we were way more righteous than I think it sounded.
Right.
And, back when life was easy. This side was adulterous.
Right.
This side loved Jesus.
Right.
And I don't know why I started with a political topic, but everything was so easy in youth group.
Right. Everything was black and white.
You just did what your youth group said.
Right.
And you'd end up in Jesus' arms one way or another.
One way or another.
Yeah. And so youth group represented a time of, security and, it's probably why we're in Campus Ambassadors.
Agreed.
Because everyone kind of thinks that security and support group's going to live forever,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get into college,
Yep.
and a professor says something wonky,
Right.
and suddenly they're wearing Buddhist outfits and
What does that mean?
and praying to the god of veganism.
Citation, we don't believe that vegans are bad.
No.
You just don't have a lot of energy to do stuff.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so agreed, definitely. I grew up also entrenched in a youth group culture.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went to multiple kind of ones because I kind of grew up planting churches. We would go to a church, plant, and like set up a church for a couple of years, and then we would move on, start other churches, and that was just how my parents, we did church. So I never really got. I would be part of a youth group for like a year or two, and then like hop. But then I would also on other parts of the week, go to another youth group that I was a part of that was more local. So I got a double dose of youth group.
Church hopper.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was one thing was like I was doing youth group at the church we were currently attending, and then I did another youth group that was like in my neighborhood where all my friends were kind of going and stuff. So like I felt like I felt kind of more attached to that group than the other one, where I felt like more like we were like working and doing ministry. So I don't know, it kind of worked out that way. But I agree, and how I describe kind of Campus Ambassadors to people that don't understand college ministry is like it's youth group for college kids. It's like it's the whole idea of like family, but like within a more adult kind of approach.
And we care about things like salary and
right, exactly,
family growth, and
right,
doing adult things like taxes,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what are your favorite kind of youth group stereotypes? At least for me, every single youth group that I've ever been into, in the room, there's a pair of like old couches. There's always the old couch.
And the youth director would get the musician posters that the Christian bookstore couldn't sell. So we'd have like Rich Mullins, Caedmon's Call all over our youth group walls.
Yes.
And I didn't know who these guys were. I'm like, man, they must be alternative.
Right.
They must rock the house.
They're so cool.
I don't know if they went to Rochester a lot, but there was this group called Lost and Found.
No, I've never heard of them.
They invented the word, and it's not speed metal, it's speedwood. So it's an acoustic kind of slashing of the guitar.
That's crazy.
And they do all these like really great and fun songs, but like we revolved our schedule around when Lost and Found would come to Rochester.
Your youth group?
Yes.
That's so funny. We did, I mean, the only concerts that we went to were like Kingdom Bound, which is like our local like big music Christian festival, where a lot of Christian bands would come and play. But yeah, no, that's so cool. Oh, and Five Iron Frenzy.
Yes.
We were obsessed with Five Iron Frenzy and Reliant K.
Yeah. They didn't come to anywhere near Rochester until their farewell tour. And by then I was a 5-album professional of Five Iron Frenzy. And the minute they came out, they sang 2 songs I didn't know. And I'm like, I'm a failure.
But otherwise, good show?
Yes, otherwise it was amazing.
Yeah, no, Caleb, my housemate, myself, my brother, and some other guys, we found out the night before that they were playing a random unscheduled show in Syracuse. So we ended up it was like the tickets were like not more than $15, and the venue was really, really small. And we went to go see them, and it was probably one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was great.
I love small shows.
Agreed.
Like when Newsboys did bicycle tricks in their intermission.
BMX bike tricks.
Yes, BMX bike tricks. Did you ever... what were the hot topics of your youth group days?
Oh, shoot. I mean, you got the usual, like, the whole, like, dating versus courtship sort of situation going down. Which is always really interesting. I don't know. There's always the one like bad boy in like youth group that like you knew was like there just to hit on like all the girls, but anyways, was that you, Mike? That was you.
I was like the funny goofball.
Same.
At the time, I thought like, man, I am just raking in the popularity. Little did I know I was like sowing seeds of never take this kid seriously. Because now I go back to that church and I'm like, I graduated with a ministry degree and I majored in the Bible. I have a lot of ministry experience, and they're like, "Goofy Mike,
hey, what are you doing?
What are you doing? You're so silly.
You're so silly. Jump on the couch again."
Yes.
Agreed. No, I was the same kind of guy. Agreed. So like the whole relationship sort of stuff, and like, hey, if you hold a girl's hand, you better marry her.
Wow, that's commitment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Well, at least that's what it felt like at the time. Like, obviously, didn't explicitly say that, but that sort of stuff. What was your experience of like, quote unquote, the dating culture in youth group?
Well, you see, my youth leader was Jill, and she could talk circles about relationships and purity. And after you listen to her, you're like, man, I want to become a priest for the Lord. I want to live in a holy hill and treat women with respect. And my wife's going to get flowers every day.
Every day.
And I will kneel when I speak to her.
How's that worked out?
Well, it wears off.
Okay.
But I'm trying to pick up pieces of that talk.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. No, agreed. Same. Definitely the same.
Yeah.
But I think it also gives guys and girls kind of unrealistic expectations and thinking that you have to live up to this ideal, otherwise it's not worth it. And it kind of takes, it kind of puts like this shine on it, on relationships, and forgetting that we're human beings and we're gonna sin and we're gonna fall short. And it's and I wish that when people talk about relationships and talk about dating, talking about the forgiveness aspect of it, and this idea that you might love this person, but that also means you need to forgive this person when they mess up. And I feel like working in college ministry, I've had conversations with people that were in relationships, and they were just really mad or just really upset about like relationships that they were in or wanting to be in, and feeling like they're being put in the friend zone or kind of being led on, and just like all these things and feelings. And we're like, yes, like or even after breakups, like you need to forgive this person and love this person, and even though like you might not be together or you might not be getting what you want from them. And I just wish that like youth groups would talk about that stuff too.
Yes. Right, the forgiveness aspect, which I think, like, it's a tough call because we're trying to live up to that Jesus phrase, "Be perfect as I am perfect." And every youth leader wants to nail it on the head, where they say the right thing that they can follow forever and ever. And it never works out like that. And I'm living proof that just because a youth director says it doesn't mean I do it.
Right, exactly.
Well, yeah.
Right. Okay, so what other kind of stereotypes?
Oh gosh. Well, I remember when we used to have like Newsboys listening parties.
What?
Like Newsboys came out with a new album, guys, come into my van. We're gonna turn it up.
We're gonna go get some Frosties and we're gonna listen to Newsboys.
Yes.
No, I definitely remember doing that. Like, that's so cool. Did you ever go on any like mission trips with your youth group?
Oh, we always had the monthly, or well,
Oh, jeez.
That sounds hardcore.
That's committed.
Yeah. The yearly one, which would go to like Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Not very windy.
Maybe you were there on an off day.
Yeah. Ohio. That was a big one. Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So I always felt so cultured.
Yeah.
Because I got to go on those and got to join in different prayer walks. And then we'd always do the yearly trip to Toronto, where they'd take us on the homeless walk.
Okay.
The homeless walk is where you're like, okay, you're homeless, you just ran away from your parents, you have a toonie, and you have
Which is a $2 coin for you Americans.
Yes. You have to live on this for the rest of your life.
Wait, what?
Now tell us how you get into prostitution.
Wait, what?
That was the answer. Like, you can't live, you have to get into prostitution to be homeless in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
How old were you guys?
We were...
When that happened?
High school. So that was a high school one.
Okay. So you weren't like 14.
Yeah. Well, here's the fun part. In Toronto, we would go to a villa called Boys Town. And they'd have boys walk on one side of the sidewalk and girls walk on the other.
Why?
I think they wanted to like get, I don't know, now that I think about it, what were they trying to prove? Trying to trick that community into thinking we were boys hanging out? I don't know, but you know, that was some of the dangerous stuff we did.
What is Boys Town?
Oh, Boys Town is exactly what it sounds like. It's a town of boys that like each other.
Oh, like...
Yes.
Shoot.
Yeah.
They weren't pulling any punches with this ministry.
No.
This mission trip. Holy crap.
I know. We got into inner city woes.
I would be hesitant to bring college students to that.
Mm-hmm. Which I didn't even... They had a Baskin Robbins at this boys' town. And some of the literature in this Baskin Robbins, I'm like, oh, wow.
Oh, no.
That's dirty.
That's explicit.
Yes.
Very explicit. Adult content.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, that's very cool. And I think, and my experience is definitely the same, trips and stuff. And I feel like it really did create like a culture of community, especially within this, within the group. And I definitely appreciate my time doing that. We would also did your church do a VBS?
Oh, yeah.
So we would, I remember the youth groups the youth groups I was part of, we would always, obviously do the VBS, but then after VBS, we would come together as like a youth group and like decompress and kind of talk about it and then also like spend the entire week of VBS like together. Yeah. So like we would go to the pastor's house and like hang out there and like sleep overnight or whatever. And then the next day like get up together and go and we would do other stuff like help clean up after VBS and some other stuff like that. So it was definitely very cool.
Did you ever think it was hypocritical, the unhealthy eating lifestyle you did?
No.
Yeah. Now that I look back, now that I look back, they're like, pizza eating contest.
Yes.
We did, it was called a fast food scavenger hunt.
Oh, shoot.
Where you go, this was a different youth group, but you take the kids to 6 different restaurants, and they just hand you this food. You have to eat it, then run to the other restaurant.
That sounds amazing.
Yes. And, we never had the treating your body as a temple talk in youth group.
No, that was the running part.
Yes.
That was the running part.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we did some scavenger hunts like that, but like not exclusively with fast food restaurants.
Right.
But no, that sounds pretty awesome. That's so crazy. No, we would do eating challenges like the always fun blend up a Happy Meal. Have you ever seen that? Where you take like a chocolate milkshake and then you like put everything from a Happy Meal. That was fun.
And strangely, the default flavor is foot.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It comes out.
I think youth directors are sick people because
sick and twisted.
Yes, one of them thought of putting your sock over a Coke can and having to drink out of the Coke can.
Did you do that?
But not only that, you had to switch the Coke can to the right, so you're drinking out of someone else's sock.
That's messed up.
And someone thought of that and said, hey, let's get a bunch of young people doing this.
See, what would be super unfortunate is if you were on the left of the girl that you really liked, and you chose that day to wear your 2-day-old sock. Relationship over.
Yes. That brings up a question. What kind of crushes did you have in your youth group?
That's a really good question. For a lot of my growing up life, I wasn't really interested in that whole aspect. I was just like, I just want to be friends with everybody. Mm-hmm. But then like hormones.
Oh.
And I was like, you're really pretty and I just really want to talk to you. And I don't know, I always went for the girl that was like just a little bit older than I was.
Oh yeah.
And who was like really, really smart and like, like read her Bible and like, took notes. Mm-hmm. And could also kind of play the guitar, but then like when she messed up, she just kind of like giggle and like flick her hair back, and you're like, perfect. That one's mine.
Yeah.
That's the one for me. And yeah, no, so I never really, I don't know, thankfully I didn't, I made a conscious choice to like not really get involved with dating until I graduated high school. I was just like, I just saw like my friends around me like getting into relationships and that becoming their entire life, and like how it like would destroy like their how they would interact with others, and like they would like lose friendships because they would spend all their time hanging out with like the girl, and like I was just like that's just not for me.
Yeah,
that's just not for me.
Yeah. I once heard you went to Kingdom Bound.
Yep.
Justin Lookadoo.
Okay.
He's like this famous youth director who writes all these books. Has frosted tips.
Of course.
Wears
Guy's fitty.
Yeah. Wears clothes that would look good on a 16-year-old. Mm-hmm. And that's his whole persona. And he talked about, he's like, high school relationships, don't take them seriously at all.
Right.
They're going to end.
Probably.
Yes. Don't worry, they're going to end. And at first I was like, ugh. I was in college and I'm like, that's not fair. It's love. And little did I, now that I look back, I'm like, yeah, high school is so stupid. I was so emotionally
unprepared.
One day I'd be like, I'm in love, and the other day I'd be like, I'm in hate.
Right, exactly. And it was 100% just a response to all those chemicals swirling around in your brain. And looking back, I'm really thankful that I didn't really get involved in that. Like, obviously, like, I went on dates with people and like I would hang out with people, but like nothing like majorly serious. And I'm really thankful because like you said, like they just don't last. And not to say that like if you're in high school and you're listening to this that you shouldn't, because who's to say that like the person that God wants you to marry is in your high school, because they might be, but you also know that that's the exception, not the rule.
Yes.
And you should be completely aware of what God is saying to you in those moments.
Not my girl, man. Not my girl. She's the one.
She's the one. Oh, and also, God didn't specifically make one person for you, like, to be your perfect soulmate. We're all broken individuals, and we're all sinners, and we just gotta find people that love us like God loves us. And
right. Absolutely. Which brings up the point that when I was in youth group, I found out this one girl named Katie was liked me,
Whatever
which is
that
a word I couldn't use with other girls.
Right.
So I'm like, what is this? Okay, this is cool. And so, but I had this huge, like, I need to look like James Dean.
Oh no.
I need to look like
Yes.
Rebel without a cause.
Yeah, just not care. Just kick over garbage cans when
Yeah.
you walk into rooms.
Or I just need to look so with it.
Right,
And
exactly.
Whenever I didn't look with it, I would just get so I would turn into like a 5-year-old girl and have a tantrum.
And that would...
So like if you're listening, I apologize.
Mm.
I was not as mature as I could have been.
Mm.
But speaking of non-maturity, this is a great tipping off point.
Yes.
John Cena.
Hey, look at that transition.
His girlfriend, Nikki Page, he
Right.
just made her sign a 70-page contract.
Shoot.
So they can live together.
Shoot.
So they could move in together. He made her sign a 75-page contract, which I'm dying to know what's on that
Right.
contract. And I'm also thinking, man, if only there was like a divine institution that could bind two people together. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be really cool.
Yes.
Somehow bond us in holy matrimony or something.
Something like that.
Marriage brings us
Yes.
together. How did we not talk about the Princess Bride? Sorry.
Oh.
The youth group Princess Bride.
Mm-hmm.
The go-to movie.
It was Monty Python at my place.
You guys were allowed to watch Monty Python?
Now that I think back, that was a horrible idea.
Yeah. I was definitely judged for liking Monty Python in my youth group.
It should have been Princess Bride. That's the problem.
Right? Exactly.
That was the safe Monty Python.
Exactly.
What?
Just the Monty and the Holy Grail?
Yeah, we'd bring over like youth group people and they'd all quote it. And then they get to the part where the women all dressed in white and they'd be like, oh, fast forward.
Okay, at least you fast forwarded to that part.
Yes. What were we thinking?
I don't know. That's so great. Your mother was a hamster. Your father stank of elderberries.
Okay.
Anyway, so John Cena,
John
marriage.
Cena. And I guess what he's trying to do is because, the statistic is if you move in with your girlfriend, you're a lot more likely to break up with them. There's some weird psychological fact that once you move in together, you get this idea that it was so easy to move in together that it's also really easy to move out if things don't work.
Right.
And that usually breaks up the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting how that works, because everyone thinks the opposite.
Right.
If we're committing with each other, then it should be easier.
Exactly.
So I think he curbed that by making her sign a 75-page contract. Probably has something to do with if we break up, you still pay for the house or something.
Right.
So it's really weird, and it also, I wonder if he's doing it as a role model. He's trying not to say, because kids are watching him.
Right.
He's saying, kids, it's okay to not get married and still move in, but make sure there's some rules and boundaries that you have.
Right, that you could get, like in marriage or
something. Yes. Yeah.
No, that is weird, and that's kind of the way that culture has been like trending. Have you had any conversations with like young adults that are Christian or professing Christians and they like live together? Have you?
One of my good friends from college, and this was a Christian college. Brothers, they love the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, I go on Facebook and say, "Oh, it's been so long. What have you been up to?" And this is a guy who I went to his wedding, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just living with my girlfriend now." And I'm like, "What?" And it's like, I've been away from you for so long, so I can't go into the why.
Right.
You want to type in why.
Right.
What part of the Bible made you want to do that?
Right.
And so it's crazy. Even when you go to Christian college, you can compromise yourself.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I live in a community house, as you know, and it's mixed. So there's guys and girls, and that's definitely something that we had to like really sit down and like talk about me, like, is this okay? And we have like rules obviously like set up in place where like stuff like like guys and girls can't be like in private rooms like past 11 alone.
Yeah.
The door has to be open, or like somebody else has to be there and stuff like that. Also, like if anybody in the house like starts dating, someone has to move out, or they both have to move out, and stuff like that. So we have like guidelines and stuff on it, and it's pretty separated by like floor and stuff. So so there's 3 girls and 3 guys that are in the house right now, including me, so we had to like really like set serious guidelines for that. But however, with some of the older generation of people that were like supporting like Tom and stuff to buy the house, they weren't really happy about that when they found out that it was going to be like mixed and stuff.
I thought you were going to say they weren't happy we had boundaries.
Yeah, they weren't happy we had boundaries. They wanted us to be free. Yeah.
Yes.
So
you're young,
right,
make mistakes.
Right, it'll happen. It'll be fine. But yeah, so it's like I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
You know, it's funny. I'm reading a book about boundaries and how they actually create intimacy.
Right.
They save your marriage, and they take a ton amount of courage by being able to say, with good communication and with love in your heart, honey, don't cross this line, and have her be able to say, honey, don't cross this line. It actually creates like such like love and respect, which like it blows me away. If you ever get a chance to read Boundaries in Marriage by the Dr. Townsend and Cloud, it's really good. And I'm trying to learn about how to be more loving by being more aware of what my boundaries are.
Yeah.
And that's really, I think, what John Cena is trying to do. He's trying to create legal boundaries to prolong his love life.
It's messed up.
And it takes him 75 pages.
75 pages.
What's on there?
Right. Do you think he wrote it himself? There's no chance he wrote it himself.
I want to know where he copy and pasted it.
Right. He's like, you can't steal my intro music. Every time I come into the room, you have to applaud me.
Yes. When I'm in my house, you will address me as the world champion.
Right, exactly. And if you bump into me, you will not say, you can't see me.
At certain times, you will not be able to see me.
Exactly.
And you will have to adjust for that.
You will have to adjust. Or suffer an attitude adjustment.
Yes. Oh, man. You
may call me 5 times a day to 5-knuckle shuffle any bug you might find. Yes. Beyond that, I charge $2. It is my hourly rate. That's great. Yeah. Good old John.
Good old John Cena.
He needs Jesus, like we all do.
Yes, he needs loving boundaries.
Exactly.
75 pages of them.
That was great. That was good. So Mike, I have a question for you. You like superheroes, right?
I do. All right.
So I've been watching The Flash on Netflix. Season 2 came out. Really good show. But also a part of that DC universe is Arrow with Oliver Queen and which is really great. But I was watching this episode and I kind of came to the realization that superheroes use weapons. Dangerous weapons that kill people. But they use them sometimes in a non-violent way or in a comical way, kind of like, Arrow always has like him and Hawkeye have like trick arrows and like and stuff like that. But my question is this: what are your favorite superhero weapons that 100% would kill?
Oh my god!
In real life. Like Thor's hammer Mjolnir was forged in a dying star. How does that not kill someone every time it touches them?
Or, the theory, or the in the first Avengers, when Thor was fighting against Captain America, he totally intended to kill him because he did a jump and he slammed down the hammer, and by some luck, some Marvel luck, the shield actually held out. Right. But, if it hadn't, then Thor would have just committed murder one. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And just obliterated any trace of Captain America.
Yes. So, yeah. It's funny that you bring that up because early Batman... he used to kill people.
Yeah, he used guns.
Yes, he used
just
guns.
Like the Ben Affleck Batman.
Yes. And he used to do things that, I think he threw a car on someone.
How did Batman pick up a car?
He put a grappling hook to it and he pulled on it and it fell on a guy.
Because that's how physics works.
When in the early stage, before we knew him as the Joker, the guy that he threw into the Ace Chemicals was trying to get out. Yeah. And Batman just kicked his hand.
Right, just kicked him in.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So that was back when killing was a part of life.
Right. If you feel morally bad, you deserve to die. Yes. That's how this works.
Yes.
But what do you think about heroes that use that use weapons? Does that make them less of a hero?
Well, it's always funny whenever a superhero, a vigilante, has two guns. Yeah. And yet when he saves the day, no one dies. Right. It's
how does that happen?
What did you shoot?
Right. Max Payne.
Yes. But DC had their own Punisher. His name was Vigilante. Oh. And he was always going in guns blazing, but no one ever died. They always fell asleep or laid on the ground for a few seconds.
Took a nap, yeah. So that's great. Yeah, so the Punisher, I'm glad you brought up, which is in the newest season of Daredevil. Yeah. Which is amazing. It's really good. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other heroes. So like Gambit, we talked about him a while back, but he uses playing cards, and he'll use a bow staff. So it's using weapons. And then there's Deadpool, but I think Deadpool is more of an anti-hero more than a superhero. But I'm trying to think of other heroes that use weapons. I'm trying to think. Moon Knight uses various weaponry and gadgets. But yeah. So what are your favorite kind of weapons that you see, or maybe even branch it out to video games? Kind of what video game characters?
I personally love physics that's not supposed to be used as a weapon, but is. Right. For example, this is also irresponsible of the Flash. Right. When you're running at 600 miles per hour and you stop, it creates a bow wave that kills everything
in front of you.
Front of you, which he never addresses.
Right. Yes. So he's running in and out of rooms at Mach 1.
Yes. And so I love stuff like that. I love teleportation as a way of self-defense. Where
or teleporting people's arms off. You see, I don't even know where I heard, but you can teleport people's arms off. That's terrifying.
The grossest thing Nightcrawler ever did was there was this really fat guy that killed his mother.
Oh, okay.
And so he teleported a shark inside his stomach, and the shark ate him from the inside out. I'm like, Nightcrawler, that's dark, man.
That's horrifying. Yes. Oh. How did he not just instantly explode from the extra weight?
Yes.
Oh, man. That's awful. Yeah. Actually, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, if you have to get a guy, I guess that could be it.
But speaking of the Flash, I have another question. It's just how is he punching people at 300 miles an hour and not shattering his bones?
How are they not vaporizing into dust?
Right. How is he punching someone at Mach 1? That's not...
Well, the Flash has a good excuse. He has mega healing, and
That's true.
speeding up his body makes him stronger.
Right.
But
like
everyone else,
right, does not have that. Let's see. So yeah, so like Green Arrow. So a villain that is always really cool is Deathstroke. And kind of his Marvel counterpart, which is like Rage.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They're pretty much the same, but they're like kind of these master ninja kind of guys, and they use really cool swords.
Yeah.
But in the Arrow universe, Raish is played by this, I forgot the actor's name, but he does a really cool job. But there's a scene where they have a duel to the death on top of this mountain.
Yeah.
And the series, or the season finale of that is just Arrow getting stabbed in the chest and pushed off a cliff. And I'm like, that's not fair. He's Green Arrow, not Green Sword.
Yes.
Like that's,
wow.
That's not fair.
But in all fairness, getting stabbed and thrown off a cliff is like getting winded in a comic book.
Exactly. Like that's blasé.
Walk it off.
Yeah. Somebody else that has a really cool power that is Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, and his ability to create weapons with his mind, with his ring. So I think that's really cool. I think some of the more creative ones are like just like a giant boxing glove that he uses to punch people occasionally.
And that's another thing, like, his ring actually creates solutions
to
problems. Like, he can make a nuclear container that contains an explosion. He could probably, I don't think he can make kryptonite, but he could...
he could simulate it.
I mean, why isn't he just, like, owner of the universe?
Because I think it's limited by his willpower, right? And he's got a limited amount. Like, say he has to recharge every once in a while. But... That his costume is kind of lame. That mask isn't fooling anybody.
No, it isn't.
Hell, we can still see your face.
Just because your cheekbones are hidden doesn't mean we can't see who you are.
Same thing with Robin. Like those shorts, you're not fooling anyone. Yeah. I know those are your legs, Robin.
But that another internet quandary is Robin being set up by Batman?
What do you mean?
Because Batman's all about stealth, ninjutsu, and like tactical fighting. He makes his
sidekicks wear bright colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
the distraction.
He's the distraction. Why do you think Robin has died 3 times, but Batman only once?
And the reason that Dick Grayson survives is because he becomes Nightwing. Yes. Also a ninja.
Yes.
That's a good point. He needs a distraction. Someone's got to distract him, Shin Gordon, before he disappears.
Yes. I mean, who are you going to shoot? The guy in bright yellow?
Right, exactly.
Or the man hiding in the shadows?
Exactly. The guy in yellow.
Yes.
Speaking of Gordon, how much stuff does he have to put up with? Like, how does he keep the media off his back about Batman just going around vigilanteing people? Like, it's like, you guys are failing at your job. Why do we need you? We just have Batman. Batman stops all the crime. Why do we have to pay you guys?
Or the paperwork he has to fill out.
Right.
It's like, okay, there's this guy who was the Mad Hatter. But a man wearing a bat costume came in and saved us.
Do you think Batman fills out paperwork?
I want to see that.
Or do you think he makes Alfred do it?
I want to see him, like, writing it down, profiling it.
I feel like Batman would do it and enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas I would just be like, no thank you. You know Tony Stark isn't doing any paperwork. Tony hasn't done paperwork in like 40 years. Yes. He doesn't do it. That's great. So what else you got, Mike?
What else do we got? Well, another thing in the news, TNA might get purchased.
I saw that by the WWE.
Yeah. That's scary because if the WWE purchases it, they're going to rip it apart and repurpose it for NXT.
That's what I was hearing.
Which means that it's another close competition losing out to the major conglomerate.
Yep.
There's no way they're going to create a TNA mini. They tried to make a mini ECW, and that didn't work.
Yeah. TNA kind of shot itself in the foot, I think. Or they didn't create, or they never really put over their own talent. They would always bring in other people, and then they would inevitably let them down, like Matt Hardy. Or was it Matt or is it Jeff?
Oh.
Or was it, I think they were both on there, but...
Yeah, they're still on there.
They're still on there. Well, the one championship between Sting and... Was it Jeff Hardy?
Oh, that match will go in infamy.
For those that don't know, the Hardy brother was extremely high.
On painkillers.
And, they couldn't do their championship match.
Yeah.
And everyone was really mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just like, they just never developed kind of their own talent. They would always bring in other people, whether that was like Kurt Angle or Ric Flair is on there right now, isn't he?
Well, he used to be on there. And what they do is they take wrestlers that were made popular by the WWE, and they said, "Oh, look, we got them now."
Right.
And I do credit them with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. They did amazing things with them. So much, in fact, that now the WWE is borrowing from them and making they're not even changing their names for the WWE, which means that TNA did a good enough job that they want to actually copy what they have.
Exactly. But AJ Styles was a proven commodity before he got TNA.
Yeah.
Like he was doing stuff in Japan. Yeah. He was doing stuff. Was he with Ring of Honor before he went to TNA?
He was with Ring of Honor.
Yeah. So
he was part of a Christian wrestling federation.
Oh shoot! Does he love Jesus?
Yes. Oh man, he does. I
did not know that.
He's he always goes to these Christian wrestling federations and kind of gives talks.
That's awesome.
And he was the reason that this Christian Wrestling Federation actually got off the ground, because he was doing amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's so cool. I did not know that. AJ Styles is my favorite wrestler.
He is amazing. Yeah.
But I'm curious to see what the future is gonna be like for TNA. I never really got into TNA just because it's kind of where the washed up kind of old wrestlers kind of went. And they just it didn't feel as explosive as other promotions.
Which is funny because they have a show called Explosive.
That's funny. That's great.
Yeah.
I was like, for a while though, early on, they were doing okay. Like they had, like when Sting was like wrestling with them, he was still pretty good. And let's see, who else was really? I mean, I love Ric Flair, and I think he's one of the greatest showmen of all time. But he can't wrestle anymore. Yeah. He can't. But he's so entertaining that I don't mind.
Yeah. But you make him he was better as like the president.
Yeah. Oh, when he was co-owner with him and Vince McMahon back in the 90s, that was great. They were like constantly go back and forth.
Yeah.
That's so great.
So I really hope WWE doesn't buy them out, because WWE deserves competition. That's what makes them better. That's what makes them try harder.
Right.
And people need other choices.
Right.
Now you can go to the smaller groups that are on like that Fight TV app.
Yeah.
But those groups are always in debt.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the hard part.
Yeah, I just don't see the WWE getting any kind of significant competition.
Yeah, that has always been my dream. I wanted to start a wrestling gimmick, get 8 to 10 no-names, build them from the ground up, be the next sensation. But I think the WWE is the only one who's allowed to be recognized the world over as men in their underwear, pretending to hit each other.
Exactly. Oiled up.
Yeah, oiled up. No one else gets to be known for that at such a wide angle, because I can't see anyone else being like say there was a competitor,
right.
and the world's like, no, we like these guys.
These guys are way better.
Yes.
Save John Cena.
Yes. So.
But yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna take some of the top talent kind of who feel like Dolph Ziggler, who aren't given like pushes to like be like, no, we're gonna leave and make our own company, and I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen in Vince McMahon's lifetime, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
See, I think part of the problem is that everyone's looking at it from wrestling taking itself too seriously. But my idea is a wrestling gimmick that actually doesn't take itself too seriously. I wanted to start a pop culture wrestling.
Oh no.
Which takes like popular variations of video game characters and has them have fights and have super moves and have like pay-per-view events like it wouldn't be Master Chief, but it would be Super Chief.
Right.
Versus not Gordon Freeman, but like Gordon Freebird.
Freebird.
And have moves that look like things they would do in video games. Like, I want a character that's dressed up as a cat and he represents the spirit of the internet.
He's just really grumpy all the time.
Yes, he's really grumpy. I would love to see that.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Like,
what?
Pop culture wrestling.
Who would the commissioner be?
Oh man,
Right?
I would want Stan Lee.
Stan Lee to be the commissioner.
To be the commissioner.
Excelsior.
Excelsior.
That would be pretty great.
Yeah.
He would be so lost though. Like, he would definitely be like the face kind of commissioner, but he needs like a heel kind of underhanded kind of guy that is actually running the things while Stanley's just running around just doing Stan Lee things.
That's why I think Ganondorf would come out.
Be the commissioner.
Yeah.
Like the vice commissioner. Yeah. That would be amazing.
His job is to, send the world into darkness through wrestling matches.
And who would be the rising kind of face of the organization? Who would be the face star?
I would want my fans to get behind my own Legend of Zelda character. It he couldn't be called Link.
No.
He'd have to be called like, I don't know, Luke.
Oh, Luke.
He just comes out in all green. He doesn't say anything.
No, never.
Yeah.
He's got like a female manager.
Yeah. So Dolph Ziggler, if you're listening, I am game.
Yo, he could pull off Link.
Yeah.
He could definitely pull off Link.
Yeah. And then we'd go on Netflix, we'd get a Netflix deal.
Right.
We'd be the next big thing.
That'd be crazy. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to see something super meta where you would have somebody portraying someone from a movie that was played by a wrestler.
Whoa.
Right? So like Batista's Drax character from Guardians of the Galaxy.
I just want our tallest guy to be dressed up as one of the Attack on Titans.
Just the Titan.
Or to finally settle the score of Goku versus Superman.
Yeah. It'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be so good.
Mm-hmm.
I like this idea, Mike.
I know. If you're listening out there.
And you have lots of money and you would like to invest in a really good idea.
We'll be the commentators.
Oh, we agreed.
Yes. I'll help write some of the storylines. Yeah.
Agreed.
Let's do it.
Let's get it done. Alright. So, how much time do we have left? We got plenty of time. We got maybe, we got time for one more segment, I think.
All right. So this is a storytelling game.
Oh, perfect.
I'm going to read a hashtag.
Okay.
And you tell me what that post was about.
Oh shoot. Okay, I'm excited.
So, first one, make it easy.
Okay.
Hashtag life is not fair.
Someone opened up, like a little bag of Twix, and he realized that half of his Twix was missing. He only got 1.5 Twix.
Each one just had one bar.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag life isn't fair.
Hashtag life is not fair. Okay, good. Second one. Hashtag should have had a V8.
This college student, blurry-eyed because he just finished a paper the night before, is walking into the library to study.
Yeah.
And he's at 6 a.m. He's not all there, and he just walks right into the divide in the middle of the door, smacks into it. Could have had a V8.
Yeah. Oh, my vision was someone was bad mouthing this guy he met in a bar. Finds out it's Brock Lesnar.
Oh no!
Brock Lesnar takes him to the parking lot, manhandles him,
of course,
and with his remaining strength, he says, "Should have had a V8."
And downs one.
Yes.
After suplexing him into a car.
Yes.
Yeah, can we talk about how scary Brock Lesnar is? That is a terrifying human being. Humans shouldn't be that big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Goliath would be scared of Brock Lesnar.
Yes, he is. He's a big, scary man.
Right, he's a tank.
And you know, the only match I've ever seen is when, in early 2000s, when there was a wrestler, I cannot remember his name to save my life, who has only one leg.
Oh no.
That was his whole thing, his whole get-up.
Right.
And his finishing move's a moonsault with one leg. So, and he faces Brock Lesnar.
What?
And Brock Lesnar destroys him.
Oh, I bet. Does he pick him up by his one leg and swing him around?
Yes, he uses him as a club. And
Brock Lesnar would do that.
Yeah. And that's like the only Brock Lesnar match I have.
That's terrifying.
In my mind.
It's terrifying.
And if you know who that one-legged wrestler is, hashtag it.
Yeah, hashtag it. Could have had a V8.
Yes. So, number 3. Hashtag love is a mystery. Hashtag she didn't like it.
Love is a mystery. Hashtag she didn't love it. So you know it's some poor guy that's like, you know, been married like, just a year, less than a year. Yes. And it's, it's Valentine's Day, and he wants to surprise her, and he thinks, hey, I'm gonna cook her dinner. And instead of sugar in the cake, he uses salt.
Yes.
Hashtag she didn't like it.
Hashtag love is a mystery.
Love is a mystery.
Number 4, hashtag call the police. Hashtag only at McDonald's.
Oh no. So, a man dressed as a clown came to McDonald's and got into a yelling match with the Ronald McDonald statue over him infringing on his turf.
I also imagine a hillbilly threatening to shoot a gun because there was no more nuggets left.
Right. Or the McFlurry machine was down.
Yes. Number 5, hashtag, and that is why we can't have nice things. Hashtag, never try that again.
So I'm just imagining, like a middle-aged man, like father of 2.5 kids, wife, the picket fence, and it's after the leaves have fallen, and and he's got some leaves in his gutter, and he turns to his wife. He's like, this year we're not going to pay for someone to do it. I'm going to do it myself. And his wife is like, I don't think that's a good idea. And the dad gets mad out of love, being like, no, I'm the father, I'm the dad, I can do this. So he gets a ladder, climbs up on the roof, and the wife comes out, takes a silly picture, and she doesn't realize that she has the flash on. And as he looks up from pulling out some leaves in the gutter, he gets a flash in the eyes, and he just falls off the roof. And she gets this mid-action shot of him falling. Taking down the gutter with him.
Oh, man. That is good.
Yes.
Number 6, hashtag only works in the movies. Hashtag banned at Wegmans.
Banned at Wegmans. Oh no. So I'm just imagining, that. Have you seen the Notebook?
Yes.
It's Ryan Gosling, right?
Yeah.
It's Ryan Gosling and what's the girl? Amy Adams. Sure. They're in the rain and it's like they're pouring and they're soaked and he's just like, I wrote to you every day for a year or whatever, and they kiss or whatever. So some guy's trying to reenact that scene with his poor girlfriend, and they're in the water aisle of Wegmans.
Make it rain.
And definitely don't do that at Wegmans, kids.
Yes. Yeah. I imagined, like, sometimes in the movies you go up to a stranger and you just kiss them. And he tried that on a registered girl.
It didn't work.
Yes. All right, number 7, hashtag sorry for the anger, hashtag need a new job.
Hopefully what Donald Trump will be saying in November.
Oh man, those words will never appear on his post.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, if there was a way to frame that response, I wish I could frame that. Yeah. Number 8, hashtag first world problems, hashtag Starbucks will hear from my lawyer.
You know what I'm sick and tired of seeing? People posting pictures of baristas spelling their names wrong at Starbucks. They're humans. They're busy. Yes. They don't have time to spell your name right.
Who cares if Steve has a 6 in it?
Right, that's what I'm saying. But, it's someone that ordered a venti frappuccino instead. They got a grande. Hashtag first world problems.
Yes.
They're out of mochaccino.
Oh man, Starbucks should know better.
That's what I'm saying.
Hashtag I'm in the doghouse. Hashtag I thought the dress looked pretty.
Why are all your examples of definitely guys that are newly married, newly in relationships?
I speak from experience.
And he's walking into Forever 21. He's walking into, I don't know, a Charming Charlie.
Yeah.
And he's like, this dress looks really nice. And he picks it up, not realizing that dresses come in sizes.
Holds it up against his girlfriend.
Yeah. He's like, I think this will fit. Brings it home, only to realize it's 2 sizes too big. And she goes, you thought I was this size?
Yes.
Oh, man.
And finally, number 10, hashtag trouble with children, hashtag I need a new couch.
So, growing up, people trusted me to watch their kids.
Yes.
And these neighborhood kids I was watching, and they had this Indiana Jones whip. It was like a toy whip. It wasn't a real whip. Yes. It was made of foam or whatever, and it made whipping noises.
Yeah.
So we were playing a game. We were playing Indiana Jones. So we were running around on the couch and jumping from stop to stop. And I got the whip and I was hitting him with it and trying to get him to move and stuff. And as I went to whip one child, another child came into range, and that child was a poor boy, and I hit him right in the gentleman's regions. And he just fell. and he was not okay.
No. Now every relationship, he's like, I can't have children.
Right, exactly. Oh man. So that's what
I want someone to pick a random minute in our podcast where it starts when I went to whip the kid.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Podcast title right there.
Yes. All right.
We don't condone child violence on this podcast.
No.
We abhor it, and you shouldn't do that.
Yes.
Except if it's by mistake, that's fine.
Yes. Making children celibate.
I'd be a great youth pastor.
Yes. So, that is the game. The
Perfect.
hashtag story game.
Hashtag story game. Perfect. That was great.
Yes.
Good memories. Memories.
How are we on time?
We're just over an hour. 4 minutes over an hour. So.
All right.
We're doing good. Oh. So,
two-parter.
Oh no.
So, how we're getting the big sponsors with our snacks.
Absolutely.
So, this is the big one. This is seasonal.
Okay. Oh no.
This works on many levels.
Uh-huh.
It's interesting. It's unique.
Mm-hmm.
It'll never sell.
No. Except for the fact that you got some.
So this is
pumpkin spice Triscuits.
like Triscuits pumpkin and spice.
Oh, pumpkin and spice.
Apparently someone owns pumpkin spice.
Mm.
Now, can we confirm if pumpkin spice is actually made of pumpkins, or is that just a cute fall word?
I think it's just a cute fall word. Honestly, when they say pumpkin spiced, I think what they mean is all the flavorings and stuff that go into like a pumpkin pie.
Oh.
I think that's what they mean. So like nutmeg and stuff like that.
See, that just totally deceives me, because I just thought someone was taking a cheese grater on a pumpkin.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually pumpkin flavored.
Yeah, so it's not pumpkin and spice, it's just Triscuit spice.
Right. So I think that one is literally flavored pumpkin and spices. Whereas pumpkin spice is something different.
Let's see. Whole grain wheat, vegetable oil, sugar, pumpkin
sugar,
pumpkin powder, maltodextrin, salt, brown sugar, spices, acid.
Acid? What? You got drugs? What kind of acid?
Sugar, acid, citric acid, lactic acid. May help reduce the risk of heart disease. For now, you know what this is going to taste like. You know what it's going to taste like in your brain.
Sure.
And so, I hope it tastes good with cilantro and jalapeno
hummus.
Hummus. So cilantro and jalapeno hummus.
Yo, I don't know if you know this, Mike, but I don't like cilantro.
Oh no!
I'm so excited for this. This is gonna be so bad. Like cilantro's like I don't like cilantro. Like at Chipotle, like I don't get the cilantro rice. I get the other rice. Yeah. I bet it's good though. Let me stop.
It smells like hummus.
Yeah, it smells good.
Yeah. So hopefully the pumpkin.
Can I try this just on its own first? Let's see. I'm gonna grab two of these. I'm reaching into the box. There's some very festive things on the back that look very tasty.
Tons of pumpkin. Now, if pumpkin spice has nothing to do with pumpkins, can I create the next craze and call it a scarecrow shavings?
Maybe. It sounds like a Triscuit tracker and vaguely like a candle store.
Mm-hmm. Salty.
Sweet.
Pumpkin powdery.
You know what? I almost wish there was more pumpkin.
Right.
So I'm now dipping it into the hummus. This is gonna be really interesting because I know the flavor of hummus, and I know the flavor of cilantro, and I know the flavor of jalapeno. And I know that they don't go with pumpkin.
No, they don't.
Bottoms up, Mike.
Bottoms up.
It's weird. It's not as jalapeno-y as I thought.
Yeah. It makes me think I just ate some Indian food and then went to Starbucks.
Right. Eating Indian food while drinking a frappuccino.
Yes.
First of all, I'm really glad that it didn't turn out as bad as I thought it was going to.
I wonder what cilantro part is.
It's not very cilantro-y, which I'm grateful for. Nor is it very jalapeno-y. Like, it just tasted like hummus.
It's pretty much hummus.
Right, that's all it tasted. It just tasted like hummus. See, it was weird because it was like, at first it just tasted like hummus, and then it tasted like the pumpkin Triscuit, and then it was done. That's it.
Like a roller coaster with no surprises.
It's the world's worst roller coaster. It tasted exactly what we thought it was going to be like.
Yes. So would you consider this food a pass or a fail, comparatively?
Comparatively to everything else?
Yes.
If this was at a party, I would probably eat it.
Yeah.
And like, even if you didn't tell me that was pumpkin spice, I would be like, oh yeah, Triscuits and hummus. And it would have been fine.
It's like, there's a weird flavor to this, but...
It's probably just old.
Yeah. You know, a Triscuit covered in pumpkin spice actually tastes like Life cereal.
That's so true.
I kept eating it, just like, this is Life cereal.
This is just Life cereal. Did you see? They made a pumpkin spice Life cereal.
I tried that too. It tastes like a Triscuit.
Right, with pumpkin and spice.
Yes.
Honestly, I think they're the same thing.
Yes.
They're just sized differently.
We're on to you, Nabisco.
It's probably the same company.
Yeah, probably.
Kellogg. It's probably in my Nabisco. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what did we learn this week, Mike?
I learned that you can't go back to youth group.
As much as we want.
There was too many mistakes there. Too many fires I need to walk away from.
Oh, man. And I learned this week that AJ Styles loves Jesus, and that makes him really cool.
Yes.
But also at the same time, I don't want to get punched by Flash when he's going Mach 1.
Yes. And get started on that 75-page contract.
Yeah, right.
It's the only way to secure a relationship.
Is that how you got Lynn, Mike?
Yeah.
Or do they have different rules in Canada?
Oh, well. First of all, I feel like she would be the better one at writing.
Oh,
it.
Absolutely.
Mine would end with, and can you pretend to be the Joker when we play Batman?
What does that mean?
Can we play video games?
Right, right.
You are required to buy me Dungeons and Dragon figurines.
Right. And help me paint them.
Yes.
And if we ever get in an argument and roll a natural 20, I win.
Yes.
I win.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Pass fail 17.
Yes.
Man, I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I need to play.
I actually want to bring up something that I hope we review as soon as I learn how to make $60.
Okay.
It's a game that I saw at a game store called Claustrophobia.
Okay.
Where you play a reverend warrior that travels through the depths of hell.
Okay.
And you fight troglodytes.
Oh no.
So I really want to review this game.
Is it a multi-person game?
It's 2 players.
Okay.
One person plays the demons. One person plays the reverend.
Okay.
And it just seems like really cool.
It seems interesting. We'll talk to Sam. We might have a hookup.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Sam. Our friend Sam, he was on a while ago. He likes board games.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good. Cool. So that was episode 14.
14.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Commitment.
Diazzi Quattro.
What? Is that wasn't right, was it?
No, it wasn't.
That was not right. And on that note,
Bye.
Goodbye. Remember, fall is the season for pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin and spice.
Pumpkin and spice.